Morning guys, it is Fabio. Hope you had a fantastic day yesterday and welcome back to another daily market outlook. Your dollar has pushed down lower and has broken the fractal low which we mentioned in yesterday's video. So as we can very clearly see, the area of supply which we drew in yesterday has now pushed the market down lower. At the moment, our fractal high is the high of this bearish candle, and as long as that high is respected, we should continue to push down lower, and that is what I expect. So expecting lower prices as long as that daily fractal high holds. The overall momentum is extremely strong on EURUSD in towards the downside. As we can see, push down, a small pullback, push down, and then we retrace exactly in towards that supply zone. Now again, push down, a pullback, and then again a push down, but then we fail to retrace back in towards that supply zone, indicating that there is still a lot of bearish momentum on EU. Now overall, on the 4-hour time frame, we saw a beautiful sell-off in towards the downside after we respected this previous fractal high. So previously the high was of this bearish candle over here, and then this was your fractal low over here of, this candlestick over here. So as we can then see, we retraced all the way up in towards the premium, and then from there we sell off in towards the downside once again. At the moment, our area of supply that is in control is over here. As you can see, we have already tapped into it, so it could be a sign that the market is just ready to push down lower again from this imbalanced candle over here. It will just quickly draw in the 50% body candle. You can see that it is now pushing the market down lower. However, I do not favor any shorts from this zone for now on EU. Not really got my eyes on it just because of the overextended and a little bit ugly nature of it at the moment. What I'm focusing more on is just purely what the daily and what the 4-hour are doing. So what I'm looking at on the daily, is just to see, can we break the overall fractal high, right? So at the point in time, or at this point in time, supply is still in control and still just expecting lower prices. Maybe we'll push in towards this liquidity low, and then from there reverse, or this next area of supply will also, demand will also be on my watch for EURUSD. But then obviously we need to start breaking the fractal high on the daily before looking for any potential longs. Until then, I'm only interested in shorts. So going in towards the dollar index is also just pushing up higher and higher towards the elections. I don't really expect anything else until the 5th of November, then bullish momentum. Looking here at the dollar index on the daily, we can very clearly see that our daily fractal low is the low of this bullish candle. And as long as that low holds, we should continue pushing up higher for now. Going in towards the 4-hour time frame, we can then again very clearly see that the overall fractal structure is holding. At this point in time, this is your low, and somewhere over here we expect to form a new high before then heading up higher once again. Once this 4-hour low goes, then maybe we'll see a pullback form, but for now just follow the daily and the 4-hour fractal structure further in towards the upside, and further upside on the dollar index does indicate further downside on AU, NU, GU and EU, and further upside on dollar yen, dollar Swiss, dollar CAD. So going with that idea now further into AUDUSD, what are we seeing from that pair? So AUDUSD is selling off further in towards downside from this daily area of supply, and this is daily supply because it broke this daily fractal low. So at this point in time, this is your daily fractal high. Let me just use the highlighter. This is your daily fractal high. This was the low, and this is now your lower low. As you can see, what happens is that we pull back up in towards the premium, so in towards that gray zone. As you can see, the 50% mark is acting as your area of resistance, and from there we just sell off in towards the downside once again. Going towards the 4-hour, this 4-hour imbalance candle has now pushed the market down lower. Going towards the 1-hour, and that is where it gets more interesting, because what you can see is that yesterday there was a selling opportunity from this area of supply. The initial sellers, they get stopped out because they placed their stop loss above the high of that candle, and then the real move in towards the downside occurred. So you got that liquidity high swept, then you see the change of character in towards the downside. We retrace in towards supply. That is when you want to go short, stop loss above the highs, targeting a 1 to 3 risk to reward. And as you can see, we are moving towards our TP. So a nice setup there on AUDUSD. Expecting further downside from that pair, as it just does not yet make sense to see anything in regards to upside. Yes, we have some daily demand, guys, but the overall order flow is still extremely bearish. So just simply follow the order flow further in towards the downside. If you start buying this, you literally are just buying against the overall trend. Okay, so understand that shorts for now are the only option. Going into GBPUSD, what are we seeing over there? GBPUSD is currently inside for our area of supply. So the analysis of yesterday played out pretty well. As you can see, we retraced in towards here, and then from there we sold off again. Now we formed a new buy before the sell. That is now your area of supply from where the market should push down lower. Looking here at the daily fractal structure is now with this being your fractal high at the moment and this being your fractal low. It's not the cleanest of pairs, I would say, just because of this doji candle over here, swiping liquidity underneath the lows, retracing straight away. Let's see if we can get a strong bearish candle closure, which could indicate further downside momentum in towards this area of demand. There's no clear demand zone in here, which can, in my opinion, push the market up higher again. So I'm more focused on this area of demand next for GBPUSD. Obviously, we could just start pushing back in towards the highs. But then what we would need to see is a break of the black line over here, which is your daily fractal high. Going into NZDUSD, what are we seeing over there? So NZDUSD is following the footsteps of AUDUSD, a pretty clean one. Overall, strong areas of supply which are in control. As you can very clearly see, the buy before the sell in control. And now once again, this overall buy before the sell is still in control. So we tap in towards that buy before the sell, and then from there we sell off again in towards the downside. So still only interested in looking for further downside momentum from this pair. As we can very clearly see, we had that 1 hour area of supply over here. We tap in towards there. Then again, early sellers get in on this bearish candle over here with what? With a stop loss above the highs. They get stopped out, and then you see, okay, we have confirmed liquidity grab. Then after that, we see the 1 hour change of character in towards the downside. We retrace in towards that 1 hour area of supply. Where do you put your stop loss? Above the highs, and then again targeting a 1 to 3 risk to reward, which pretty much corresponds with a new lower low. So still expecting further downside from NZDUSD. That's the only trade that makes sense for me. Yes, we do have this kind of reversal pattern, but then again follow the overall momentum. And by the way, we also had a bullish change of character over here, but then again look at what the overall swing structure is doing. That is still extremely bearish, so it doesn't make sense to long from this area of fractal structure, or this area of demand which is then created, because fractal structure is always weaker than swing structure. Keep that in mind. So therefore always follow the overall swing structure, and yeah, just following that in towards the downside. And then again on the daily, you also see daily fractal structure is still bearish, and daily fractal structure will always again be stronger than the 4 hour fractal structure. So that is NZDUSD. Nothing yet on the long side, only looking for further shorts. Then last of all, gold. Gold is still bullish in towards the highs. Again, if you're trying to short gold, you're out of your mind. Going in towards the 1 hour, just because the other time frames are not really that interesting. You can very clearly see that this area of demand is now in control. We were pretty right with the overall statement that we grabbed liquidity underneath these lows. Stop losses just getting hit, and then again a reversal in towards the highs. So some nice overall upside price action. Again, this is now your sub for the buy that is in control. I'm only interested in looking for longs on gold, not shorting this beast, okay? So just take that into consideration, or keep that in mind. So that's it for today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. Wish you all a fantastic day. Make sure to join Discord, link in the description down below. If you want to follow every single trade that I take, and also receive my mechanical trading blueprint, which I explain here daily, also make sure to check out tta-capital.com. See you guys inside Discord. Thanks for watching.